afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. From 1 King Street West in downtown Toronto, welcome to the Empire Club of Canada. With us is Ms. Celina Caesar Chavannes, as I've mentioned. She's Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of International Development. Ms. Caesar Chavannes is a successful entrepreneur and the recipient of both the Toronto Board of Trade's Business Entrepreneur of the Year for 2012 and the 2007 Black Business and Professional Association's Harry Jerome Young Entrepreneur Award. Ladies and gentlemen, I now welcome Celina Caesar Chavannes to the podium to offer words of welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is an absolute pleasure to be here this afternoon. And before I begin, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional territory of many Indigenous nations, with a special recognition to the Mississaugas of New Credit First Nation. On this, the celebration of International Women's Day, it gives me great honor to be here on behalf of the Minister of Status of Women, Marian Monsef. Today, we join Canadians across the country and around the world celebrating women's contributions to our country and the common purpose we share in advancing equality together. It's an honor to be here with you on a very important day. This year's International Women's Day theme is My Feminism. It recognizes the role that feminism plays in bringing about positive change here in Canada and internationally, while building a more equal, secure, and prosperous world. My feminism is inclusive. It's about equality for all women and people of all genders. It's also intersectional. It's about empowering women and girls and people of all genders, no matter the complexity of their experience, to speak up and to make their voices heard. And I know that many of you in this room know that I'm no stranger to speaking up on a lot of issues that are critically important to ensuring that this country remains as prosperous for everyone as possible. Most importantly, my feminism is about possibility. Because when we work together and truly value what we bring to our country and to the world, there is no limit to what we can achieve. So the good news is that on this path to equality, we've made significant progress as a country over the last 150 years. Much has been achieved by working together, but there's still a lot that we need to do. Today, we stand on the shoulders of many generations of women activists and advocates, many of whom are in the room today, who have turned so-called women's issues into issues for all Canadians. Now it's our turn to build on their success, to leverage the momentum created over the past year by Me Too movements and global women's marches. The question we face now is to seize the possibilities of the movement, to create promising futures for women, young women, and girls. The Government of Canada prides itself on its leadership, its policy, and the resources we've put behind this movement. We recognize that leadership is critical, and I'm proud that Canada is being recognized around the world on its gender equality. Through a going list of actions, the federal government is playing its part and leading by example. Our feminist agenda includes appointing a first gender-balanced federal cabinet, announcing a first federal strategy to address gender-based violence, enhancing the use of gender-based analysis by federal organizations, increasing the diversity of over 4,000 senior federal appointments, using the comply or explain approach to increase diversity on corporate boards, incorporating the first full gender statement in last year's federal budget, and in Budget 2018, we built on that. Canada's theme for International Women's Day reflects the government's feminist agenda. This agenda is also reflected in our budget, which focuses on gender equality as a driver of economic growth and strengthening the middle class. Budget 2018 supports the federal government's people-centered approach and is guided by a new gender results framework. This GBA Plus legislation will be enshrined into all budgets going forward. Budget 2018 also commits $100 million over 5 years to the Women's Program at the Status of Women Canada. This new investment will support projects to end violence against women and girls, improve their economic security and prosperity, and advance women and girls into leadership and decision-making positions. As well, Status of Women Canada will finally be made an official department within the government, strengthening its capacity to apply the gender and diversity lens to all programs. The budget also included measures to help improve women economically through a women entrepreneurship strategy, through ensuring that EI parental sharing plan that allows both men and women to participate in growing our children. We are strengthening the Canada Child Benefit, which helps more families who need it the most, such as those who are single mothers. In 2017's Fall Economic Statement, we indexed these benefits to keep up with the cost of living. This is very good news for families. And we also know that Indigenous peoples, in particular those who live in remote northern communities, face barriers when it comes to accessing federal benefits, such as the Canada Child Benefit. To help Indigenous peoples access the full range of social benefits, the Government of Canada is providing investments of $17.3 million over 3 years to expand outreach to Indigenous communities and conduct pilot outreach activities for urban Indigenous communities. This is what we're doing domestically, but on the international stage, our leadership is well known and recognized. Our commitment to ensuring that equality and the empowerment of women and girls are placed at the center of Canada's G7 presidency in 2018 is critical. We are working to mainstream gender equality across the work of the G7, including as part of all government-to-government engagement by ministers. Canada last year was elected to be a member of the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women to help shape the Commission's work going forward. And of course, in my role as Parliamentary Secretary, we've put in place Canada's Feminist International Assistance Policy, which focuses on the empowerment of women and girls as we look to build a more inclusive, peaceful, and prosperous world, because we know that we cannot do so while leaving 50% of the population behind. Ladies and gentlemen, feminism is a call to action for everyone who believes in gender equality, and it can't happen without you. You can inspire others by using the hashtag #MyFeminism to join the conversation. Use it to tell us what feminism means to you, to share stories about how you are helping to advance equality in your communities and beyond. You can be an inspirational role model or a mentor by sharing your experiences in business, government, and nonprofit organizations. At the end of the day, every action matters, whether large or small. It will move our communities and country closer to a healthy, respectful society that we want. And ladies and gentlemen, I cannot leave this stage without acknowledging that over the past few days, it has been particularly challenging for myself in the role that I have. I have heard individuals say that I might be a one-term MP because I continue to speak up about issues, and I accept that. I accept that because my feminism requires me to be bold. It requires me to have uncomfortable conversations and to speak my truth. It requires me to smash and challenge the status quo. But my feminism isn't for everybody. Not everyone likes black coffee, no sugar, no cream. So I implore you to be bold in your definition of your feminism. We have an army of young girls and boys here in Canada who are expecting no less from you. Thank you.